Hello, everyone. Welcome back to Art, Truth, and Politics by Harold Pinter, Lesson 5. We have to move a bit fast. From here onwards, the textual paragraph and its paraphrase, that is, the detailed meaning, is given with meanings of only essential words. Read the textual para, then read the paraphrase. In the last class, we have seen that America was supporting the Contras against Nicaragua. In this lesson, Pinter continues to describe the American atrocities in Nicaragua. Paragraph 22. A short paragraph. The United States supported the brutal, cruel Somoza dictatorship in Nicaragua for over 40 years. The Nicaraguan people, led by the Sandinistas, overthrew this regime in 1979, a breathtaking popular revolution. See, we were talking about the dictatorial autocratic ruler called Somoza. This is the man, Anastasio Somoza Debayle, who ruled Nicaragua, who was an autocratic ruler. The paraphrase of the short paragraph is this: Nicaragua was ruled by an autocratic ruler called Somoza. America supported them for 40 years. In 1979, Nicaraguan people overthrew this government. Overthrew means remove forcefully. Overthrew this government under the leadership of Sandinistas. Who were Sandinistas? Sandinistas were a left-wing political organization. It was called Sandinista National Liberation Front. The people overthrew this Somoza government under the leadership of Sandinistas, and it was a very popular revolution. And continuing, then after overthrowing Somozas, Sandinistas established their rule. Sandinistas were not perfect. They possessed their fair share of arrogance, and their political philosophy contained a number of contradictory elements. They were intelligent, rational, and civilized. They set out to establish a stable, decent, pluralistic society. See, this we are talking about Sandinista's government. We are not saying that Sandinista's government was perfect. They had their own problems. There were contradictory elements, opposite elements present in their approach. However, they were intelligent. They were reasonable, rational. They were civilized people. They tried to establish a stable government, a decent government, pluralistic society. Pluralistic society means several opinions can be said. It was not autocratic, single opinionated. Several opinions can be said. Then several positive things were there. Death penalty was abolished. Hundreds of thousands of poverty-stricken peasants were brought back from the dead. Over 1 lakh families were given title to land. 2,000 schools were built. A quite remarkable literacy campaign reduced illiteracy in the country to less than 1/7. Free education was established and a free health service. Infant mortality was reduced by a third. Polio was eradicated. Now let us see the paraphrase. Before that, you can see the map of Nicaragua, which is in between Honduras and Costa Rica. So paraphrase of the earlier paragraph was the Sandinistas were not perfect rulers. They were also arrogant rulers. However, they were better than the Somoza government. They tried to establish a decent government. They wanted to establish a pluralistic society. Pluralistic society means a society that allows varied opinions to be raised. They did many good things like this. They abolished death penalty. They tried to abolish poverty. Land was given to more than 1 lakh families. Measures to improve literacy were organized. Free education was provided. Infant deaths were reduced. Polio was eradicated. Like this. Now, para 24. United States finally brought down the Sandinista government. So after the rule of Sandinista government, United States brought it down. It took some years and considerable resistance, but relentless economic persecution and 30,000 dead finally undermined the spirit of Nicaraguan people. So Nicaraguan people resisted the American intervention, but the economy was weakened. 30,000 people were dead, and finally it undermined, it brought down the spirit of the Nicaraguan people. They were exhausted and poverty stricken once again. The casinos or gambling centers moved back into the country. Free health and free education were over. Big business, American business returned with a vengeance. Uh, they came back like a revenge. Democracy had prevailed. Democracy is written within the inverted commas, meaning just opposite. The paraphrase is like this: though Sandinistas did many good things, America brought down the government. Nicaragua tried to resist them. However, when the economy of the country was weakening and when 30,000 people were dead, they finally gave up. The people were exhausted. Poverty started creeping up again. Casinos, that is, gambling centers, started again. Free health facilities and free educational facilities were stopped. Americans American supported business started again. Democracy was established. Democracy within inverted comma. This is said with an opposite meaning. Then para 25. But this policy was by no means restricted to Central America. It was conducted throughout the world. It was never ending, and it is as if it never happened. So, this policy of America of intervening into the affairs of other countries, it was not restricted to Central America or Nicaragua. It was conducted all over the world. Pinter says that this approach of America was not only limited to Nicaragua, America followed the same approach everywhere, but they never admitted it. Then, next para, the United States supported and in many cases engendered means gave rise to every right-wing military dictatorship in the world after the end of Second World War. So this is a very serious accusation by Harold Pinter that America supported every right-wing military dictatorship in the world after 1945. I refer to Indonesia, Greece, Uruguay, Brazil, Paraguay, Haiti, Turkey, the Philippines, Guatemala, El Salvador, and of course Chile. The horror the United States inflicted upon Chile in 1973 can never be purged, never be cleaned, and can never be forgiven. The paraphrase is Pinder accuses that every right wing military rule formed after Second World War was supported by America. And these countries, as I have told, are examples. American atrocities in Chile were really horrible. Then, para 27, hundreds of thousands of deaths took place throughout these countries. How did they take place? Did they take place? And are they in cases attributable to US foreign policy? The answer is yes. They did take place and they are attributable to American foreign policy, but you wouldn't know it. Nobody will know about it. Pinder says strongly that death of hundreds and thousands of people in these countries were the result of America's foreign policy. But nobody will know about it. And para 28, it never happened. Nothing ever happened. Even while it was happening, it wasn't happening. It didn't matter. It was of no interest. The crimes of United States have been systematic, constant, vicious, remorseless, but very few people have actually talked about them. You have to hand it to America. It has exercised a quite clinical manipulation. Clinical means a very efficient manipulation, very efficient control of power worldwide, while masquerading, while acting like as a force for universal good. It is a brilliant, even witty, that is humorous, highly successful act of hypnosis. Hypnosis means hypnotism. See, Pinter was saying that the influence of America was great. They were able to cover up their crimes. America's crimes were carefully planned, remained always the same. They were cruel, without any kindness. Nobody knew about America's rule, America's approach. America acted like they were doing something good for the world. America was actually hypnotizing the world. So we are stopping briefly here and we'll continue.